Let's do this. Happy new days, beloved. Yes. Welcome to the best days of your life. Let's get into it. We are talking about resistance. We are talking about the battle of creating new realities, right? So here we go. Very simple. What we think, feel, and want, our natural desires, these things are automatic. These are our reoccurring thoughts, which most of our thoughts each day are reoccurring, right? So over 90% of our thoughts are thoughts that we had yesterday and the day before, right? These are automatic thoughts and feelings and desires and wants, okay? And this is equal to what we want. Okay. And so these automatic feelings, they feel safe because these have been our thoughts. This is literally our foundation. A lot of how you feel about yourself, you have been feeling that way. So for us who are battling feeling just undesirable, unimportant, we don't feel loved by many, those are feelings that we have been battling for such a long time, right? And they have even proven that children who don't do so well in school academically typically have low self-esteem. They have a low outlook on themselves. They just don't see themselves as good people, as good students. So a lot of what we are battling, this inner conflict, has been there for a long time. And we can typically go way back to our childhood, early years of school, early interactions with our parents that helped us to develop who we are and our connection to the world and the universe, right? And so what we have to work to do is change those automatic thoughts so that they're more in connection to what we get, right? So if you are saying that you want certain things out of life, you must first build a self-esteem that is of a high regard, right? You must know that you are more than capable of making any dream your reality, anything that you truly desire to be tangible in your everyday life. But if you have a natural conflict about that, right? So if your natural thoughts about yourself are filled with lack, it is going to be extremely hard to produce what you want because there's a huge battle between what you want and creating that reality. This is when you're getting a lot of resistance. No one can solve this work but you. A lot of the times, we are becoming too connected to our diagnosis, and so we begin to claim that, right? Like, oh, I'm depressed, so that's the reason why I do this. No, you have to win the battle, which means you have to fight the battle, and all that starts with the inner conflict. And so that inner conflict, you're going to be able to see a reflection of that in the world around you. This is when someone can literally be handing you an opportunity, but you're creating so much resistance on just accepting that opportunity that you want simply because of your inner conflict. You think that you are lacking. You just don't think that you have what it takes. You don't think that you have the capabilities of it. You're stuck in but I always fail. And when you are stuck in that frequency, it's going to be extremely hard to produce what it is that you truly want. So what you think, feel, and want, these are automatic. Those are automatic feelings that are typically reoccurring every day. Every day you're thinking these things, right? So if you are looking to break your automatic thinking process, this is the reason why we use affirmations. It sounds very cliche, but when you are battling feeling beautiful, it is going to be very important for you to constantly tell yourself that, right? So when you feel your self-esteem is becoming low, this is when you have to continue practicing the practicing. This is the reason why we wake up early in the morning. We're in our deep meditations. We're reassuring the inner child in ourselves. I am beautiful. I am wanted. I am smart. I am brilliant. I am safe. I am grounded. I am protected. You are reclaiming those things, right? You're reclaiming those beliefs and perspectives about yourself so that it turns into your automatic thinking. This is why we practice it. I had such a conflict with my hair, with having very nappy hair, very thick hair. And this was all connected to my childhood. My sister's hair wasn't as thick, wasn't as nappy. And so I would constantly hear, how it was such a struggle to do my hair, that it was going to take longer. I would hear this. And so because of that, it made me reject my hair. It made me reject my hair type and my hair texture. So to rebuild that confidence, right? I wear my natural hair, right? To rebuild and reclaim that confidence. But I also had to speak to the inner child in me. I had to let that child know, your hair is beautiful. I love your thick hair. I love your coarse hair. Reassuring myself. And so now this is a part of my automatic thought, right? So now I know, oh wow, look at this gorgeous hair. I love this nappy hair, right? So I had to reclaim. Even the word nappy, I had a problem with. I didn't like saying that, like, oh, I have naps, I have nappy hair, what? So I had to reclaim what that means to me, redefine what that means to me, and create a different connection. So now this is a part of my automatic thoughts. This is how you build your self-esteem. This is how you reconnect to your inner child so that you can have automatic healthy thoughts. Really listen to yourself. Pay attention to when you are having that rejection. Sometimes you can hear when we do it. Someone may say, oh, I love your outfit. And you're like, what, this? You like, oh, instead of just automatically accepting that beautiful comment, or when someone tells you that they love your natural hair and you automatically reject it, oh, I hate it. So pay attention to the things that you're rejecting about yourself. Pay attention to when someone is giving you a compliment and how you respond back to that compliment. That will tell you a lot about your inner self and what that conflict look like, right? And this is why we have to get to know ourselves on deeper levels and also do the shadow work, right? Pay attention to our dark thoughts, our thoughts that are not as healthy, so that we can work to change those dark thoughts into automatic positive thoughts that are connected to what we want, that are connected to the frequency of what it is that we desire. So a lot of us, sometimes along the journey, you can experience where like you were doing so great. It could be something with meditation. You was doing so great doing your morning meditation or doing your afternoon journaling, or you was doing so well with making sure you were exercising or eating healthy. Whatever a goal or objective was, you were doing well at it, right? And then all of a sudden, you stopped. You stop meditating, you stop praying, you stop exercising, you stop using affirmations, you just stopped it. This is because you got to remember, sometimes that place feels so unfamiliar. Sometimes when you're on the journey and you are actually levitating, elevating, and you can feel it, it gets uncomfortable. You're like, hold up. Sometimes I didn't know that life can feel so good. So because I didn't know that life could feel so good, once I got into a place and I was really feeling good, I was like, this is weird. Like, this is a weird place. Like, oh my, sometimes heaven can freak you out when you have spent so much of your life in turmoil or in trauma thinking patterns. So being in a higher frequency can feel unfamiliar. It can feel uncomfortable because you were safe in your old self. Even though your old self was unhealthy, you were safe there. You felt comfortable there. You were enjoying it. You were basking in it, if you will, right? So it takes time to get familiar with feeling better. It takes time to get familiar with feeling more positive and feeling more lightful, right? Feeling more godly. It's a place that once you get there, you can feel yourself backslide because you're more familiar with the other place. You lived in that frequency and in that reality for a much longer time. So it's going to take time to process. So this is when you give yourself grace. This is when you give yourself reassurance. And this is also when you have to be your parent. And this is when you have to discipline you. So you don't let yourself backslide for too long, right? You don't let yourself go months without meditating. So if you take a day or two off, okay. But you want to get back in that process of constantly working to elevate, because you know there's so much benefit from it. There's so much benefit from meditating, from going into solitude. There's a lot of benefit from exercising, eating healthy, being really sure and intentional about your behaviors and attitudes and projections. There's so much benefit from that. So we're working to have our automatic thoughts, how we naturally think and feel and express. We're working to make that all equal what it is that we want, right? So be the frequency of what it is that you desire, right? You want to beat at that vibration. So if you want more love in the world, be more love. You know, if you truly are desiring something different, be that difference, and everything, all of those things will align, right? So here it is. We are working each and every day to rebirth ourselves. Welcome to the best days of your life. Now share this video with your homie, your best friend, and your mama. Have a beautiful day, loved ones.